Are you wasting your time learning React.js in 2020? Well, you reached the right video. Let me explain. This video was brought to you by DigiLink Academy, your #1 source to learn how to make money programming and get that six-figure salary you desire. Our academy have a wide range of courses including 3K in 30 days, our mentorship membership program, and much more. When you sign up for our free community, you get access to our membership community with like-minded professionals who's going to help take your career to the next level. So let's take the first step to get started and really take your career to the next level with our 7-step money guide today. So let's go ahead and click the link below to sign up for our free 7-step guide to help you get your career started today. Alright guys, whenever I'm talking about a specific programming library, at least in this case, or a programming language or a framework, I like to go through from different aspects before I tell you yay or nay as far as just learning React in 2020. First of all, just to give you guys a quick answer as far as just before I go into the context, React is really good at Facebook. It's a Facebook language. Facebook created it, or a library. Facebook created it. It used it for a lot of its front-end work. A lot of objects, a lot of Silicon Valley companies love it. They implement it. They have developers. They in need for it. Life is good. So if you're in Silicon Valley, you probably got high demand for React developers. But once you go beyond Silicon Valley, once you go beyond software companies, things are a little different depending on what type of job you're looking for. A lot of you guys may think, okay, Rod, I'm wanting to be a front-end developer, so I would need to have React. Yeah, that's the case, but once you start looking at the job market for front-end developers, that's when you're gonna really learn pretty quickly that front-end development is very competitive compared to the other two options as far as just back-end development and database development, because it's the nice sexy thing. You get to see all of the elements that you create. It's the sexy thing on the market, and people love to be the designer, to be the face of an application. So that alone is going to put a lot of people in the market to be a front-end developer, specifically React. We'll just stick with React right here. So that being said, it's going to be highly competitive. The salaries are just going to be pushed down based off of that level of competition. Not to say you're not going to make a lot of money compared to other jobs. I'm just saying, if you, on average, if you start to put in a back-end developer versus a database developer and a front-end developer, that front-end developer is going to make less based off of some of the other things I described earlier. If everything's even as far as just the company, experience, need, all that stuff. Most of the time the front end is going to be less, only because of the sheer amount of developers, the demand. Everybody want to do it. It's a nice sexy thing. People willing to take a pay cut to be a front-end developer versus having to deal with the database and the actual backing end. So just kind of put that in perspective. I know there's an exception out there, Facebook front-end developers who are React developers who's making $500,000 a year. I know that's going to be the case in a lot of time, but the exception, that's the exception of the rule. That being said, guys, I like React. I think React is a really good technology that lets you build elements in a library that's very easily acceptable. The learning curve is really good. I personally haven't done a ton of projects in it because I'm not a front-end developer. If I had to pick a weakness in my whole development arsenal, is the front end. I am not a creative person. I am not a graphical person. I'm the guy who go online, find a template, buy the template, and put it on my project, and then bring a designer in that's going to actually do the other 20% of the customization, the branding, the color scheme, and all the advanced HTML and CSS I need from an application or website. So I'm not the person who's going to give you the details on React.js, but I hire a lot of developers and I know the job market really good. Guys, as an application matures, as a industry matures, you're gonna see demand for a certain type of developers go down because of the sheer amount of change needed for certain elements of an application. typically once the front end's solidified, they do good on the front end, it's gonna be less change needed on the front end outside of some small cosmetic changes. But all of the other stuff on the back end, the data model, just needing stuff that's gonna excel and pass their competition, that's where all the change is gonna be. So you gotta keep that in mind too, guys. So that's another factor that drives the front end development market down a little bit more too. Don't get me wrong, as a developer, you make the right decision. That's why I always tell you guys, I'm a huge fan of you are a problem solver first. You are a software developer first that specializes in front end languages. And again, if you are doing this for a hobby, you're not necessarily wanting to learn to make money, and you're just doing this straight out of the love of programming. You just like programming in your spare time, it's fun for you, don't listen to that. I say continue to program in react.js and life is good. But this applies for people who are professional. Before I go farther, guys, I talk about this in my 7-step guide. If you haven't signed up for it, links are below. Go ahead and click it in the description box. And if you already signed up for my 7-step guide, we have premium courses below. So go ahead and check some of those premium courses out, guys, and support the channel. And we're gonna help you guys really take your UI and UX design skills to the next level, even as a programmer, and really put you in a position to get that job. But that's basically what it ended up being, guys. It's the market demand. And a lot of you guys have a specific city you want to work in. You want to do a specific job, and sometimes it works in your favor depending on if it's the right city and the right companies are there. A lot of times it can come back to bite you in the butt. That being said, you have to make sure what the local demand is for a specific job. I can't tell you the amount of times people go to college, graduate in computer science, went to a boot camp or anything specifically for design, UI design, never look at the job market. This is a 4-year span, 6-year span in a lot of cases, and never look at the job market. And then they find out, man, I want to live here. I'm gonna go get me a software development job here. It's time to get serious about my job search and prep. Come to find out they can't get a job in UI design in Chickasaw, Mississippi, which is expected. Come on, guys, you can't really think you can do that. But if you haven't done your research, this delusion is the type of stuff that kills people dreams of being software developers, specifically UI or React developers, because they don't really look at the job market prior to them actually taking that boot camp, prior to them getting that computer science degree or that computer software engineering degree. So you gotta be aware of that, guys. That being said, I'm always in the market of trying to make sure you guys pick the right degree in the right market with the right salary in something you have skills in that, I hate to use the word passion, but something that you just don't hate. That's what I like to say. Something you can do for the next 5 years under the right conditions that you can thrive at. Because I find once you find something you're good at and you get those wins under your belt, that brings you a lot of joy when you see those big projects come into fruition, coming to be reality for you, so that you can really see your work actually come into play, guys. So that being said, will I recommend you guys to learn React JS? No. Unless you are that rockstar developer, guys. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice piece of technology, and I would definitely want you guys to, if you got a job saying React developer, you learn this, I'm gonna give you that job, then yes, go learn it. But for the most of us, junior developers specifically, you're not gonna get that job. It's so many people out there gunning for that job. I would apply, but I would have expectations low because of your experience level and just the sheer amount of jobs out there. It's crazy out there, guys. And me personally, I always been on the back end side, so jobs always came easy for me. So I never had that feeling as far as just the level of competitiveness that you guys are gonna have to face. But even now, you know, for most programming languages, I think the competition is getting high, guys, because as technology evolves, as the market matures, as more people come into play, they're gonna want more of the job. So I can only expect that level of competition across all three areas of software development is gonna be higher. So that means you have to get yourself in a position to win. That being said, guys, like, subscribe to the content. If you have additional information or feedback, comment below. If you agree with me, comment below. If you disagree with me, comment below. If you haven't already, go check out my premium courses, guys. Help support the channel. And I'm gonna put the link to my 7-step guide here on the screen. So go check that out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.